BMW E46. I've got a problem here, so I'm just going to go in and read the codes. E46 F3, then you select engine, and then I come across to DDE5, select that, double click it, it then loads up, and I go F4 to read the memory, and F1, and I get these codes: glow plug cylinder 1, and it's glow plug cylinder 2, glow plug cylinder 3, and glow plug cylinder 4, and I've also got another fault code. This is a new one: rail pressure monitor, engine start, so I'll have to look at that. So basically all the glow plugs have gone out of winner. I'd done them a few years ago and they seem to be going again, so I'd like to check the glow plug relay. It's more like a mini computer, and I'll show you what you're meant to check as we go along. Now this is a wiring diagram for a BMW E46 2 litre diesel 2004 model. Now what we're troubleshooting today is the glow plug relay, this bit here. As you can see, it's quite a simple setup, as well, I have only 4 glow plugs, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 come down to here, and then there's 2 wires going to the main computer on pin 68, which is a black red wire. Now that black red wire, that's a diagnostic link. That module talks to that computer and vice versa. It tells the computer if there's faults within the glow plug circuit, and also the computer talks back to the glow plug module to tell it when to turn on, to turn off, depending upon temperature, etc. So that's the black red wire, that's just a data link. We've also got the brown wire here, and that's earth for this module, and at the top here we have the red yellow wire, which comes from a relay. You can follow that back in this diagram. We then have to turn the page. See here. That follows back here, and that goes up to fuse number 2. Now you see it says X28 part 2. Now this fuse is not in the main fuse box. This is under the bonnet, and it's at the right hand side. I'll show you on the car where this fuse is. It's tricky to find, and that's fuse 2, and it's a 20 amp. There's only other, it's a wee fuse box with only other 5 fuses in it, but I'll show you that. So that's the setup of this glow plug module. All it needs is a power, and the brown, which is the ground, and a data link, and obviously 4 good glow plugs. So I'll show you that. This is the location of the fuses for the diesel control unit. It's this box here, and it's the second fuse in. I don't know if you can see that. It's 20 amps, so it's the second fuse in, so you've got to take that out and check that. See if you're live. You can actually, I don't know if you can see it here, you can probe them at the top, and I'll put a light on that and let you see the fuse. There you go, that's better, you can see the fuses in there. It's the second one from the right, it's 20 amp. They're all to do with, the second one's to do with the glow plug relay, and the rest are to do with the engine management system, which is that box there and the other box there. So that's the fuse you check for that wiring diagram that I showed you. So here is the control unit for the glow plug module. So what we want to do here is test this to see if it's still working. Now what I've done here is I got off a scrap car, I got the supply lead, that's the main supply lead, we'll plug that in, and I also got the wire inside of the harness. So what we have here in this harness is you have the brown wire, which that is the earth. We'll have the red and yellow wire, which is power, and then we'll have the black and red, which is that data link connector, and also for this is the 4 thick wires which go to the glow plugs. Now I've made this one up, so each one of them terminates, but I had to cut this to get it off the car. So that's your 4 thick. So I'll wire this up and I'll show you this working. So that's me wired it up. I have power going into the red yellow wire and into the main feed, and I also have my brown wire which is grounded. You just leave the data link connected, we can't do nothing with that. And I've also wired up one of the glow plugs. So with everything wired up, you just plug it into one of these glow plugs on the bench. Make sure you've earthed that back through your battery to complete the circuit. Just give it a couple of seconds and you should see this start to glow. There, it's away. Now that's working fine, that module's working fine. You can actually see how many amps it's drawing. Here you can see it's a pulsed amp, so it's drawing just short of 30 amps pulsed. If you check that on a meter, it'll probably show you about 8 amps, but it's actually been pulsed, that circuit. And what we can do when we're back here, we can check the rest of the outputs on the blue, the green and the brown just using a test lamp. So see that's working fine, that one's working fine, and that one's working fine. So these are all working fine, and that's the way you check this module. Now you see that's glowing away fine there. That module will actually only last for about 2 minutes, and then it cuts itself off. Must be some built-in protection, and you have to disconnect the power supply and then do it again. But the other thing I can show you, actually, these glow plugs they're only rated at 5 volts, but the actual voltage it's getting through, it's getting pulsed the same as the current. So I'll just show you. I'll pause this and I'll show you that on the screen. Now that's volts. That's showing you 0 to 12 volts, and you can see that the glow plug has been pulsed between 0 and 12 volts. And if you measure that, I think it roughly works at about 7 volts at the plug. As you can see, I'm just measuring at that point. Now if you go and measure with nothing connected to it, you get let's see if you can see that, you actually get a funny shape pattern. Right, I'll pause that and I'll show you what the difference in the pattern is. Now you can see that this is just attached to the lead with no glow plug loading the circuit, and you can see down the bottom there that's the voltage is still exactly the same, but it's not got the nice square bit at the bottom. It's more rounded, so that just must be something to do with the current discharging. So that's what an open circuit glow plug looks like. But obviously if the 4 glow plugs are open circuit, you're not going to draw any voltage or any current. But I just thought that would be quite interesting to let you see that. Thank you.